first since the country celebrated its 50th year of independence last year and the general election in September. Well, here's an update on Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong's 2016 National Day rally speech, and the rally has been suspended. We'll stay tuned to Channel News Asia as we bring you more. But for now, let's join Olivia Seong, who is at ITE College Central, where the rally took place. Olivia, can you tell us more about what happened?
Well, Jerry, if you can just see behind me, the guests in the auditorium are slowly filing out from the place because, as you did mention, the rally has been suspended. Now, what we did see, as what you might have seen over television, was Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong had begun his English part of his speech at about 8 p.m. and about 9:20 p.m., so about 1 hour and 20 minutes into the speech, we saw him. He was talking about the changes to the elected presidency. He had been talking about that, and then suddenly we saw him pause, and then he kind of stumbled a bit, and we're not very sure what happened next. There's a lot of whispering. There's sort of a quiet atmosphere over here outside at the reception area where the guests are filing out. It's very quiet. People are also talking among themselves as to what happened. But earlier that night, the Prime Minister had delivered his speech as planned, speaking in Malay and in Chinese before having a half an hour intermission before going into his English speech. And throughout the three speeches, there had been some common threads where he talked about how Singapore can progress together, how the country can stay united, and how good leadership is key. In all three of his speeches, he had also been talking about changes to the elected presidency, where he talked about how the Constitutional Commission that had been appointed earlier this year had submitted their report to him, and how the Prime Minister was studying the recommendations and how the government had accepted what was being stated in the report in principle. And he was just elaborating on that part of the speech when this incident happened. So we will have to wait a little while more to find out what exactly the situation is, what happened to the Prime Minister. But as of now, this is the situation at the moment. Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister was also speaking in Malay, and where he also covered topics about, the economy, where he stressed that it's important for Malay Singaporeans to participate fully in the country's new economy as technology changes industries, especially as we go into how we've seen sluggish economic growth over the past year, and we've seen Singapore's economic growth forecast being changed from 1 to 3% to 1 to 2%. Another key topic that he had been talking about and had just also completed in his English speech was on terrorism and the increased threat that we are seeing to the country, where over the last few days we had seen more Singaporeans being arrested under the Internal Security Act for terrorism-related activities. So all these were common themes that we had seen in all three speeches before this incident happened. But we'll just have to wait and see, and we'll bring you more updates as soon as we can as to what happened to the Prime Minister and how he is at the moment. Jerry?
Olivia, thank you very much for that update. We've been speaking to Olivia Seong here in Singapore. And she was at ITE Central College with the latest on Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong's 2016 National Day rally speech. Well, the rally has been suspended. Do stay tuned to Channel News Asia for more.